with Apex Legends Season 21 going live a few days ago. We actually got a brand new legend introduced to the game called Alter. She brings a very cool play style and a bunch of other new ways to actually play the game, along with other really cool legend combos to pair alongside her. And we got a few other small minor balance changes for a few of the legends. I'm going to be real with you guys. I think for this season, I think pretty much the entire game, at least like legend-wise, didn't really change overall that much. So it's going to be kind of more of a shorter tier list video. But it's going to be the Apex Legends tier list, or this legend tier list, mainly for solo queue ranked, mainly for like your lower to mid tier players like silver up to low to mid tier plat. So personally, I'm usually like a gold to like plat type player. So it's kind of what this list is going to be for. It's not going to be for your pro player list. It's not going to be for like 3 stacks, though I will mention 3 stacking and like duos stacking with some of the legends that we do talk about. I also will not be running through the entirety of the legend roster for this. I'm going to be real with you guys. Like I said, there's not really much to really go through because a lot of the balance changes we got didn't really do enough to really make legends change that much, or a lot of the stuff that they got, even like nerfs, didn't really do much change a lot of legends. Like, it's pretty much same as last season, apart from like a new legend called Alter, which I'll be talking about a lot, probably the majority of the video, and then a few other minor changes to some of the legends, which we'll talk about. So keep that in mind. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you guys think of Alter, and what do you guys think of the current state of the game with all the legend balance currently? At least for me, I think it's actually pretty good. We're going to hop right into this. I'll throw the list on screen for you guys right now. This is the entire list. All of the legends you guys see on screen right now, I will not be talking about any of the legends you guys see that are already on the list. Either of these legends, nothing with them's really changed that much since like last season for Season 20 when I did my tier list then. Or like they did get a few like minor changes, but it wasn't really enough to actually change them on the list or make them more viable, or like any type of nerfs that they happened to get didn't really do much to them, at least viability wise, and they're kind of just the same. So if you guys want to listen to my explanation on everything or any of these legends, go check out my last tier list I did for Season 20. I'll leave a link to that at the end of the video if you guys want to go check that out after I'm done. But I won't be talking about any of the legends that you guys currently see on screen. There's a few other ones I do want to talk about, which I'll be changing on the list, but I figured I might as well save some time for you guys and kind of just disregard the ones that I don't think really changed at all, just mainly because I don't think it's really worth talking about them. So talk about Alter. I think if I were to put Alter on the list right now, I think she's in ranked. I'm pretty sure she's in ranked. I haven't played ranked yet at all, but I've just kind of been playing pubs over the last 2 days. The main thing I've been playing is Alter. I've been playing a shit ton of Alter. I think she's one of my new favorite legends. She really is. She's really fun to play. If I were to put her on the list, I think I'd probably put her like A+ tier, like the top of A+ tier. I do think they're probably gonna nerf her, just mainly because I think the pro players are gonna be some of the people that kind of abuse her, especially in your duos or trios. I think the thing that makes Alter really shine is in your coordinated play. Like, if you're in like a duo or a trio, especially probably like in your pro play, which is probably going to be the thing that gets a lot of her kit nerfed, I'm assuming, which kind of sucks because I don't think she's like actually broken at all. I think Alter is probably one of the most balanced legends we've gotten, at least like in the last few legends. More balanced than Conduit was, but Conduit wasn't really, I wouldn't say broken. She just matched really well and like paired really well with certain few legends, which we'll talk about as well on release. So she got nerfed a few times, but she's more balanced than like Conduit, for example. So and I do think she'll probably end up getting nerfed though, because like in your coordinated play, she's probably one of the best legends in the game. If you have like a coordinated duo or a trio, her kit's just absolutely insane, especially if you're able to talk over comms and that type of thing. Solo queuing, it's not too bad. Like, if your team still knows how to take advantage of your ult and kind of like follow up with you, like with your tactical and that type of thing, you can still do really well with her if you're just solo queuing with a bunch of randoms. But I think she really shines in like your duos and trios type games. Probably you're going to be in your pro play. But for your average tier player, I think she's still really, really good. And for that, I'll probably put her at like the top of A+ tier. She's incredible. I really like Alter. I'm going to be real with you guys. I think at the second game I actually played her, I didn't even play her at all. Like, I just hopped into the game and played her. The second game I played her, I dropped like a 2K badge. Like, that's how fucking crazy I went on her. And usually if I drop a 2K badge on a brand new legend, that means they mesh really well with my playstyle, and I end up really liking them and doing well with them going forward. So I think Alter's going to be one of those legends I do add to my arsenal, at least personally. Really fun to play. She has some really cool interactions. She has a really cool passive where you're actually able to take an item from a death box from a distance. It's pretty much kind of like a Loba ult, but you're only able to take one item at a time. And you have like a really long range on it, which I think is really cool as well. You have like almost like halfway across the map. Like it's a crazy range on her passive. So being able to like take items, especially late game when there's just so many death boxes around, and just loot up for free is just really, really good. She has a really good tactical. I don't think her tactical is as good as a lot of people say it is. I think it's a lot better for like your higher tier of players. For like your average tier players, like you can maybe try to make some plays off it, but usually it's just going to mainly be as like an escape tool, or maybe as like a way to try to push onto a team really fast. You're not going to be making like crazy plays often, like trying to like 1v3 teams. Like I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen for like a bunch of crazy clips of like some pro players or like crazy cracked, sweaty no-lifers that just play the game all day, every day, using like one of her tacticals and like diving on an entire team and wiping them without them noticing or that type of thing. You're not going to be doing that in like your regular average tier lobbies. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. I do think her tactical is pretty good though. I think it lasts for like 5 seconds. You can actually go through it multiple times. So that's kind of cool, and your teammates can also use it as well. Same with the enemy, so kind of keep that in mind. You could also kind of set stuff up around it where you can actually like throw like traps and stuff around it too. So if like the enemy does use it, you can kind of set up a trap or like bait somebody into it, which I've seen a few times. Kind of cool. Really solid, and then she has a really solid ult as well. I think the best thing about her is actually her ult. At least when I've been running, I've actually been running at least for like her perks. I think like you get, I think it's a one of her, I think it's her tier 3 is a 10-second reduced cooldown on her tactical, or like infinite duration on her ult. And then I think for like her tier 2 upgrade, I think it's a 30-second reduced cooldown on ult. And I think it's you can actually see like scan people once you go through her tactical. So I've been running like the ult builds with her perks, like the 30-second reduced ult cooldown and like the infinite ult duration. I think those are the two best ones she has, just playing her ult playstyle. If you're really aggressive and you like her tactical, like you can probably go into those perks too. Like she has really, really good perks. I don't think there's like an actual like bad thing with Alter too, but like I think the thing they did really well with Alter is like they balanced her really well to where like her entire kit is all really good, but just has a really cool like skill ceiling to where like you can still make use of it if you're like you're an average player, but like you get way more use and like way more potential out of it if you like coordinate with a team and like your duos or trios. I think that's kind of a cool thing about her. So not only she's like incredibly good for pro players, like you can also make her work for like your casual players, like your solo queue players as well, which I think is something they did really well with Alter. Her ult's really good. Void Nexus, like pretty much what it is, it's pretty much the reworked version of Revenant's ult. If you guys know what Revenant's ult was, he had a totem. Some of you guys probably wouldn't even play the game back then after they reworked it, but before they reworked Revenant, he actually had a totem where you'd actually be able to throw it on the ground, and you'd have like a specific duration, or like you take damage and you'd actually teleport back to the totem. It's kind of like an improved version of the old Revenant totem, to where like you can throw it down, then you can go and fight it. I think it has like 120 seconds timer. So like as long as you're in that timer, you can go fight somebody, and if you need to get out of dodge or like go heal up, you can phase back to the Void Nexus, and it'll actually teleport you back all the way to it, and you're able to heal up out of dodge and like safely for free. This also includes people that are actually downed. So if your teammates are downed and they're able to get back to your Void Nexus, you can actually freely revive them, which I think is really, really cool. A lot of people are saying that's broken, but like at the same time, it's really broken with like a lifeline or like a Newcastle, but I don't think it's really that broken with like anything else. Like, if you don't have like any of the revive or like defensive characters on your squad. So, and I think that's me and the pro players bitching and complaining. I think it's actually balanced. Funny enough, usually I don't think like a lot of like the reviving type mechanics or like the really safe stuff's really balanced, but I think with the Void Nexus being able to revive a downed ally and having them go through the Void Nexus with their ult is actually balanced. It makes sense too, just from like kind of based off of what it really is. So if Alter can do it, especially when she's down, why wouldn't her teammates be able to? I have no idea. It just makes sense logically, just from like a logic standpoint. And then you actually have it so you can actually upgrade it to where you get the 30 seconds off of your ult cooldown. So like it's down. I think it's, I'm not sure the exact cooldown like normally of her ult, but with the 30 seconds off, it's a lot faster charging, so you're able to get it a lot faster, and you can actually throw it up so it's infinite. So you can just fight a team and you can just throw it down, and as long as it's not destroyed, which it also is deployable, so you got to be looking out if it actually gets destroyed by enemy teams. But as long as it does not get destroyed, you're able to teleport back to it and has like no duration or no timer, so it just stays up infinitely with that tier 3 perk, which I think is really cool, and that's my favorite one. So that way you don't have to worry about having a timer, like having a time frame on like finishing a fight, or worrying about whether like your totem, or like your void nexus is gonna phase away and either get destroyed or end up expiring. So overall, it was really cool legend too. Really cool legend. I really like the voice acting for like everything they did with her is really, really good. I think she's probably like one of my favorite legends they've had in the last few seasons. Like I like Conduit. Conduit was really good. But I think Alter 100%. I do love Alter a lot better than Conduit, unfortunately. I think that's mainly just because Conduit just a support legend. I don't really play support legends that much. She's probably the one I play the most if I do play support, but I don't really play support that much. I usually play like Skirmisher and maybe a few defensive legends, a few other ones, and like Assault legends. But apart from that, like I think she's just really, really good, especially design-wise. I think design also, they knocked out of the park with design-wise. Something like completely unique to the game. She does not look like any other legend in the game. She has a completely different personality to the game that nobody else really has. I guess you can maybe argue she's kind of similar to Mad Maggie, but I don't think really. I think they're both like entirely different. Like she's a fucking psychopath, and Mad Maggie's just a fucking badass. I think those are two different type of personalities and like things they bring to the game. I don't know. She also has some really cool legendary skins. If you guys haven't looked at legendary skins in the shop or in the character of the legend select screen and that type of thing, or even like in the shop, there's a few good cool skins for her. So overall, just really good. They knocked out of the park with Alter. One of my favorite new legends. If you guys haven't played her, she's really, really fun to play. I've been enjoying the shit out of playing her. I think she's really, really fun for the game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with her in the future, especially skin-wise, because being like the theme she currently has, I think they have a lot of really cool opportunities they can do with her skin-wise. A lot of cool stuff they can do. I think the only thing I do not like about her is, like, I don't know how she's really related, like, lore-wise to, like, anything, and why she's even in the Apex games. I know they had, like, stories of the Outlands for her, but, like, the stories of the Outlands for, like, her lore didn't really explain much. It just explained that she's kind of, like, a time traveler and, like, a dimension drifter, so I don't know how she's really in the Apex games and, like, where her lore really is. She has something to do with, like, Horizon, I think Wraith a little bit, but, like, apart from that, they didn't really explain much, like, lore-wise, and, like, really give an explanation of why she's in the Apex games. That's kind of the only thing I think she's kind of lacking in, like, the lore department. Especially even more than, like, Conduit. And, like, Conduit didn't really have much reason either, like, lore-wise to really be put into the game. But I think Conduit even has, like, more pieces of lore than actually Alter does, which is kind of sad. But I think that's the only, like, drawback to Alter. Everything else about her is incredibly great, though. Just a little bit lacking on the lore, but hopefully they fix that. And that's something they can easily fix going forward over time. So you can kind of say the same thing about Vantage, too, because we haven't got really, like, any lore about Vantage. And, like, a few of the other more recent legends to the game, like Conduit and a few others. So that, like, why they're in the Apex games, and, like, there's a bunch of other, like, lore, how they relate to some of the other characters and that type of thing. But that's just something entirely different. I don't know how that really... Somebody's going to be in the comments, oh, why are you talking about the Ultra lore, bro? Why are you talking about her appearance and her design and her lore and blah, blah, blah? I'm here to learn which characters are good for ranked, which I'm going to tell you guys. But, like, I'm telling you guys, like, everything about Alter. You guys are here to hear my opinions on the new legend and learn about the new legend, hopefully, if you guys want to play her. I'm giving you guys a complete breakdown of the entire new legend, because I'm going to be real with you guys, there's not much else here, so if I'm not talking about Alter, this will be a really short video, because there's not really much else to talk about, especially with some of the other legends I'm going to be talking about and actually re-ranking on this list. Apart from that, let's hop into some of the other legends. Let's talk about Valkyrie. I'm going to actually put Valkyrie, I'm going to move her down to A tier. The reason why I'm actually moving Valkyrie down to A tier is, if you guys know, at least when I'm recording this, I don't know, maybe they'll fix it after I throw this video up for you guys, or even before I do, but at least when I'm recording this, Valkyrie actually has a major bug with her jetpacks, which I've had happen to me, like, so many times already. I was wondering, I actually played Valkyrie, like, on one of my first few games in for this season, and I was wondering why I never was getting my jetpack back. I thought it was something I was doing. I thought I was letting my jetpack run out on purpose, or like I was holding it down. It just wasn't regenerating. But turns out it's actually a bug. If you guys don't know, like, Valkyrie's bugged where if you use your jetpack and like right after you quit using it, you jump like within like a second or two after you're done using it, your jetpack will no longer refuel for the entire rest of the match. So you'll be playing Valkyrie, and if you jump and like screw something up, or if you're not paying attention, you end up jumping shortly after using your jetpack, you will not have any more jetpack fuel, or it will not refuel. You'll run out. You'll still maybe have some, but like after you use whatever you have left, it will not refuel for the entire rest of the game. Still be playing Valkyrie, and the only thing you'll be able to do is use your ult. And like the other entire major aspect of her kit is bugged because you won't get any booster fuel back. So that is really bad. That's why I'm moving her down to A tier. Once they finally fix her major bug with her jetpacks, I'd move her back right up to A+ tier like I did for Season 20. But right now, being that she's bugged, there's not really much reason to play her unless you want to like ride your team around and like transport them across. Ballistic, I'm going to move up. I think I had Ballistic at A tier. I'm going to move Ballistic up to an A+ tier. Ballistic with a new perk change is actually really, really good. And he's also got a significant amount of buffs over this last season, and I think he got some I think it was mid-season 20. I think he got a few buffs, and then he also got some more buffs to some of his perks. He actually has a perk now to where actually like your sling weapon will actually upgrade based off your armor. So it'll go to like a tier 2, which is a blue, and I think it'll actually go to like a purple tier weapon, and you don't even need to pop your ult to actually use it, so you can carry like multiple like 3 or 4 weapons around, which is crazy. So really, really cool. You can carry a sniper, you can carry a mid-range like AR or like something that's mid-range, and you can carry like a close-range gun, and you won't be penalized for carrying the third weapon like you used to be with having it unkitted. So if you really want to now, you can actually like carry like a sniper around with a scope and everything being like fully kitted as like your third option, or even like a closer range weapon as like your third option, to just be able to switch to it whenever you really need, and you have an automatic advantage being able to hit anybody at like any range over like most other people that can only carry 2 weapons apart from like Vantage. So I think he's a lot better. I think he's a lot better than he was. I don't know how much more you're going to see him though. I've seen him a lot at the start of the season. He might drop off again. We'll see how it goes. Maybe just people that are testing his perks. I know there's a battle pass challenge that requires you to play him too, so maybe that's why. But I do think he's really good. If you guys want to play Ballistic, he's probably the best he's ever been. Got some really good perks. I think all of his perks are actually really good now, and they keep buffing his base kit too, which is really, really good. So check, if you guys are looking for a new legend to play, check out Ballistic. Really solid. Caustic's going up to S tier. They buffed him for, I think, mid-season 20. They buffed his gas damage. I think they buffed his gas damage again for this season. I think he's probably the best defensive legend in the entire game by far, like not even close to anybody else. I think maybe the only other closer one is maybe Catalyst, or maybe like, I don't know, I guess Newcastle's more of a support, but you can argue he's maybe a defensive legend too with his wall. But maybe like Watson, I guess if you want like the second best defensive legend, it's probably Watson, or like maybe Catalyst, you could argue. But I think by far none, it's Caustic currently. So if you guys want a defensive legend, he keeps getting buffed for some reason, pick up Caustic's really, really good. He's also really good on all the maps that are currently in the ranked rotation. So especially with the new Broken Wound map, like he plays really well on that map. Able to lock down buildings and lock down areas really, really well on that map, at least from what I've been seeing. Crypto, I'm going to put Crypto up in A tier. Crypto got some crazy buffs. He got some new perks to where I think they changed like the order of some of his perks, but he got some really cool perks. He has one to where his drone is actually, it has increased acceleration and deceleration, so where it actually is really difficult to shoot out of the air now. So I think it's redeploy time, or I forgot what it actually, the other like second part of the tactic, or the perk is, but one of them is where I think it has increased acceleration, like movement or handling. There was some other one too, I think, with his drone too. I think it's where it was actually able to deploy or undeploy faster or something too, was a part of it. Or I think that was actually in his base kit. They buffed that. That wasn't a perk, that was in his base kit. So he also has another perk where actually your scans will last 1.5 seconds longer, even if you're not scanning them with the drone. So kind of like a bloodhound scan, even if you're not looking at them, they'll last a little bit longer, which could be a little bit useful. But the two main perks that he actually has is the one that actually makes your drone like absolutely as fast as fuck. It is really difficult to actually shoot your drone out of the air with actually how fast it moves, because it just goes so fast in the air and it's such a small target to hit, especially for like your average tier players, unless people just like focus fire it. So you're able to just have your drone out and just like be able to use it whenever you really want and not worrying about it getting destroyed at all most of the time. And then he also has another new perk for, I think it's a tier 3, to where if your drone gets destroyed or if you use EMP, you get a temporary speed boost, I think it's 5 or 10 seconds. I'm not sure exactly the amount of time it is, but you get a speed boost, so it's more of like a really aggressive type of perk, which I think is actually really good. And I've seen actually used a lot. Like, you'll actually have a crypto that actually lines up a really good EMP, detonates the EMP, and is actually close enough to where he's able to hop right into the fight with the extra speed boost and just start doing a shit ton of work to everybody along with his team. So I think that's really, really good. Crypto's got a shit ton of buffs too. Like, I think they buffed a bunch of stuff on him. You're actually able to see, as long as your drone is actually deployed, you don't need to look out the banners anymore to actually learn how many squads are around. So that's another really huge buff for him. Really, really good. I think, especially with Bloodhound, got a little bit of nerfs for this patch. He's a little bit better. I don't know how much you're going to really see him. I think you'll probably see him a lot more in your higher tiers of play. But like for your average queue lobbies, ranked lobbies, I think Crypto can be still really good. You can still pick up banners and respawn them remotely. Still really good. He has all really good perks now. I think every one of his perks is actually really, really good. They've been buffing him slightly over the last 1 or 2 seasons. So really solid. I think Crypto, if you guys want to play Crypto, he's probably the best it's ever been. I think I said that last season too, and he's actually even better than last season. So if you guys like Crypto, play him. I've actually been trying him out, and I think he's really, really good. Seer's dropped off. I'm going to put Seer down to like C tier. I think he's probably the worst scan legend in the game. He was being played a shit ton for like these last 2 seasons, for like season 19 and then 20, and then he's just completely dropped off. And I think he's going to drop off a lot more now that Crypto is even way better, because there's not really much reason to play Seer over a Crypto, and Crypto just brings a lot more value to your team and has a lot more uptime than Seer does. It's still pretty difficult to land Seer's abilities, especially with like his exhibit still doesn't really last the longest. So it's been nerfed into the ground so many times where I don't think it's really even the greatest. If you want to scan legend, like pick Bloodhound or like Crypto or a few of the other ones, I think this is way better. Kind of why I'm moving him down. Conduit. Here's the fall of Conduit, y'all. This is actually gonna be arguably probably way too low. I know there's gonna be people that shit all over this decision, but I'm gonna put her at A tier. I think the reason why Conduit, I mean, they changed it, but like the reason why you're not gonna see Conduit very much anymore is because they finally changed the interaction to where Conduit is not able to actually restore the shields on Revenant's ult, or like when his shield breaks. So you can no longer pair a Conduit with a Revenant and just make like the Revenant unkillable. That's a thing that's no longer able to be done. So that's a thing of the past. That was the one reason why you were seeing a lot of Conduit being played, is because you were pairing her alongside Revenant, so you can make him pretty much unkillable, and he'd be able to like 1v3 teams by himself, just with his ult and being able to get the shields restored over and over again. So I don't know. I think she's still decent, but like especially her cooldowns, like her cooldowns and her tacticals, like if you're not talking about like any perks or anything, like her cooldown is still really high. I think it's like a 25-second cooldown or whatever now for her shield restore, and you don't even really get that much back if you use it on yourself anymore, so it's not really as good. She doesn't really have any mobility either, so she's a little bit not as good as some of the other legends currently, so I don't know. I mean, her ult's still pretty good. She has a few things going for her, but I don't think she's nearly as good. And the main interaction, the main pairing you were using with her, it was Revenant, so I think she's not as nearly as good because you're not going to be seeing that anymore, because you can't do that interaction anymore, which is the main thing why she was broken. So surprised it took that long for them to actually fix that, but I'm glad they did. Conduit's not bad by any means. I just think if you want to support legends, I think there's a few other support legends. Like just pick Lifeline if you want to be a supportive legend. There's a few other ones, even like Loba is a little bit better. But Lifeline or Conduit's not bad. I think there's a few just better ones currently. I'm actually moving Rampart down to C tier. I don't think Rampart's that good at all. I think I had Rampart like a B tier last time for Season 20. I think the main problem with Rampart is, like, it just takes too long to set up, and, like, people are just really deathballing currently, especially with Alter. Like, Alter kind of checks your, kind of just destroys you, especially because you can actually throw up a barricade, and you can barricade out an area, but, like, with Alter being played now and actually being in the game, she just uses a tactical on one of your barricades, and she can actually just go right through your barricade. So even if you throw it, like, in front of a door, it doesn't really stop her anymore, which is another counter to some of her play style. I don't know, I just don't think she's really that good. She's not unplayable, but, like, I think there's just so many other better defensive options. Like, why would you pick Rampart over, like, Caustic or Watson or even, like, Catalyst? I have no idea. I think she needs some small buffs. I don't know. She's been getting some buffs recently with the last few seasons, but I think she needs a few little buffs. Not really bad at by any means, though. And then you got Newcastle, which got some really huge buffs. I think I had Newcastle at, like, a C tier last time. It might have been a C tier or B tier. I'm actually going to move Newcastle up to an A tier. I think the buffs that they gave him were absolutely crazy. They made it now to where I think it's his deployable shield actually I think it deploys faster and moves a little bit quicker and actually moves with you a lot better. And then they made it so, like, his castle wall, as long as it's electrified, actually negates all throwables. So if you throw, like, Arc Stars or, like, a Valkyrie tactical, for example, or just throw something at his wall while it's electrified, it has the same effect as, like, a Watson pylon, and it'll just negate all throwables and, like, projectiles. So that's really broken. I think the main thing that's actually holding Newcastle back are the people that play in Newcastle, because I feel like nobody knows how to fucking play him. He's one of those legends that takes a lot of skill to play, and, like, there's really not many reasons to really play Newcastle over Lifeline a lot of time. So at least if you're playing Newcastle, just take into consideration that you at least need to know how to play him, because if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you're just better off playing Lifeline. She's a way easier play and does way more. So if you want to play Newcastle, you need to learn him. I think you need to at least know somewhat what you're doing, because otherwise you're just garbage. And that's the problem with a lot of Newcastles I still see in my lobbies. Especially at the start of this season, I've had a lot of bad Newcastles in my games again. People have been trying them, and the Newcastles that have been trying them, and the people that have been trying them out, have been really, really bad players, and they have no idea at all what the fuck they're doing. So if you want to play him, at least know what you're doing. If you can at least somewhat play him, like, he can probably carry an entire team of losers if you're really that good, because he has all the tools to actually do so. But I don't know. I'll move him up to A tier because his kit's really, really good. He has all the potential to actually be really good. It just comes down to kind of the player, and that's kind of thing that can maybe hold him back a little bit. But apart from that, is the entire list. Overall, I think that the balance of the game is pretty solid right now. Like, there's not really anything in the game right now I think that's probably, like, incredibly crazy that I'd say, like, needs to be nerfed instantly. I think the main thing that probably would need to be nerfed again, if I were to nerf one legend, I'd probably nerf either Revenant again or probably Horizon. I still think Revenant's all still fucking crazy good. Same with, like, his entire kit. Same with Horizon. I think I'd actually rework her passive or something about her. And you could probably nerf something else about her again as well. So I don't know. I don't know what they'd even nerf, because they've been nerfing her, like, nonstop, and she's still, like, the best legend in the entire game. But if I were to nerf two legends, it would probably be, like, Revenant or Horizon. Those would be the two I'd probably nerf in some type of way. But apart from that, I think everything else, even if they don't, like, change anything balance-wise, I think overall the games right now is just a really solid stage. Well, I think it's the one thing that they actually do really well, so props to Respawn. Actually, the balance with the legends over these last few seasons, it's been a little bit worse over, like, season 18, 19 wasn't really the greatest, especially when they introduced Conduit to the game. She was kind of strong on launch, but season 20 wasn't bad, and this season actually a little bit better. I think Alter, being a brand new legend of the game, being incredibly balanced, is also really good. So props to whoever balanced the legends for this season and balanced Alter, and play tested Alter to make her really balanced. Props to everybody. Round of applause to Respawn. Overall, at least the balance of the game right now, I think is really good. I don't think there's any legend in the entire game right now that you can say that's legit, like a throw. That'd be like a trash, like, throw pick. Like, there's some in C tier, like, I wouldn't really play Mirage or, like, Seer, like, Rampart over a lot of the other ones, but they're not unplayable at all, especially if you main them or you like to play them. You can still do really well. I think that's the one good thing, at least balance-wise, with all the legends in the game currently. And that's one thing that they should do really well. So the balance of the game is getting a lot better. Overall, I really like that, because there's a lot of other games right now. Overwatch. Sorry about that, y'all. I had a little bit of hiccup there. There's a lot of other games right now that the balance is just fucking god tier awful, and they can never seem to get it right. But at least it seems like Apex at least getting better with every season. So especially adding new legends to the game and having new legends be balanced on launch, which is really hard to do. So that's also a huge accomplishment for them, which I think is really nice. So let me know what you guys think of the game currently. How do you guys think of the balance? What do you think of Alter? Do you guys like Alter? At least for me, I think she's one of my new favorite legends. I really like her. Really fun to play. I think the only thing that's going to be a problem with this season is I don't know if there's really going to be enough content for this entire season to actually carry us into, like, I think it goes for like at least 10 weeks. So that's like, what, 4 months? Another 4-month season. So I don't know. I think Alter can't really carry the season by herself, and a few Broken Moon map changes to where the map is still just a third-party central map to where it didn't really change anything. I don't think that's really going to carry the season content-wise. It's really exciting and fun right now, but ask me in like 2 or 3 weeks if the season's still fun or if just going back to being boring, and I'll let you guys know. So, apart from that, if you guys are watching as well, I will be live Friday night over here on the channel with some Apex Season 21. I'll probably be hopping into Ranked on stream and playing some Alter. So, if you guys do want to drop by this Friday night, at least the day after I'm probably uploading this for you guys, feel free to drop by around about 9:80 ST, something around there, like usual. So if you guys want to drop by for some Apex Ranked and watch some Ranked or even maybe join, feel free to drop by. Apart from that, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody.